Yesterday on my blog, I looked at the story in Matthew 8 about Jesus' encounter with two demon-possessed men in a region called the Gadarenes. It's a familiar story. Jesus was with his disciples and they took a path through this area where there were these two men living in the tombs who were possessed by demons, and they were very, very violent, very aggressive, and people had stopped even taking that road because they might be attacked by these men. So as Jesus is coming, the men come out to meet him, and rather than the men greeting Jesus, the demons do, and they shout out, "What are you doing here, Son of God? What do you have to do with us? Have you come here to torment us before the time?" And as I was reading this story again, it just struck me so much how it depicts this world that is supernatural. It takes for granted that there is a spirit world that has good forces represented by Jesus and evil forces represented by the demons. And in fact, so much of Jesus' ministry was about that kind of clash, the clash between his kingdom, which was coming, and the kingdom of the devil, which was already here and oppressing people. Colossians talks about being lifted out, translated out of the kingdom of darkness and placed into the kingdom of light, and that is what the gospel is really all about. But in North American culture and some parts of European culture, what we would call the Western world, we've kind of lost that. We've been teaching for a really long time a version of the gospel where the world is very materialistic. There really isn't much to expect in terms of spiritual activity or the miraculous, and we're very suspicious of things like dreams or visions or angels. All of that kind of gets our back up. We're not comfortable with it. We really, in some ways, don't believe in the spirit world at all, other than we think there's this place called heaven and it's far away, and thanks to Jesus, we get to go there someday. But we don't have a high comfort level, even with the Holy Spirit. And so the whole idea of a real spirituality has gotten lost. And the problem is that in our culture, really since about the 1960s, spirituality is getting a revival. Because people know that, they've encountered things they can't explain, and people know there has to be more to life than what we can see in the natural world. And so a version of Christianity that only talks about the material world and then only talks about moralism, just try to do the right things and be a good person and go to heaven someday, doesn't answer the questions people have, and it doesn't answer the needs that they feel. And so one of my passions and one of the things I'm really trying to do with my blog is to teach people a healthy, Bible-based version of Christian spirituality. And you'll often hear out in the world, people often say, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And the problem is that spirituality all by itself is not really safe, because like we see in Matthew chapter 8, not everything that exists in the spirit world is beneficial or friendly or has our best at heart. There are malevolent forces, and the Bible lets us know that they are deceptive, that evil will come in the guise of an angel of light. There's a lot of scary stuff out there. But a Bible spirituality, a truly Christian spirituality, is always going to be rooted in relationship with God. It is a relational spirituality. So when Jesus shows up on this road and these demons react to him so strongly, they cry out, Son of God, what are you doing here, and what do you have to do with us? Jesus is the Son of God. He's the man who is divine and also human, fully divine, fully human. And he is the king. He's the king of heaven. He's the king of earth. He's the king of the spirit world. He's the king of the material world. And our real healthy Christian spirituality is rooted and found in our relationship with him. So all real Christian spirituality, it's not going to be ultimately about self-awareness. It's not going to be ultimately about angels and miracles and dreams, as cool as those things can be. It's going to be about that personal relationship with the Son of God, with the King of Heaven, who has made a way for us to become children of God and sons of God. Hi, I'm Rachel Starr Thompson. I blog over at rachelstarrthompson.com. I'd love to see you over there. You can read the post that this video references, and you can get a free book on the Lord's Prayer, just hop over to rachelstarthompson.com and input your email, and I'll send it right over.